If you're watching the replay, I'm going to go ahead and get started talking. I don't have a lot of followers right now, so so it's not like, the other YouTubers where the people just start pouring in because they got the notifications and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and talk through some stuff while I check to see, if we are live. It says we're live over here connected, but I just want to make sure. So I am Randa, and this is the co-creator group, and you guys are co-creators because we all have the ability to co-create the life that we want, to pull down the blessings that we have in heaven and to have them actualize here within this lifetime, right? By doing the work. And so here we're going to get messages from our spirit team. That's our high vibrational ancestors, our spirit guides, guardian angels, any saints, orishas, archangels that's attached to, pushing our purpose forward. Yay, we're live. I love seeing that. Okay, great. And so we have 3 piles, and in these 3 piles, we just have oracle cards. And I'll pull from the tarot over here throughout the reading, right? But then you have some preset. I have not seen the oracle cards as of yet, right? And so what you're going to do is you're going to pick which pile resonates with you, right? We have the raw crystal quartz. We have a raw citrine. And then we have, of course, it's raw, but it's really polished. It's not polished, but it has been transformed into this white pyramid. I don't know the material of it. It's not citrine, but it's white, right? So you want to pick from these piles. Pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. I will put the timestamp in the, hold on. I will put the timestamp in the comments after I finish. And that reminded me to go get my handy dandy notebook so that I can write the times down. Okay, so what is the other? Okay, so we have a list. Let me go over the song list. And if you saw the last video, then you already know. Okay, so let's go over the song list. and I am excited. And what we're going to do is when it comes up to a pile, we're going to show this little spinner right here. And the spinner is going to tell you what song you have. Okay. So if we are ready to go, if you should be triggered and by a reading and you want to know more, you want more personal insight, because these are general readings, and what I do is I tap into the collective spirit teams. They know who's going to run across this video and how for you to tap into the correct message, right? And so that cannot be the full message for everybody. So if you want to know more, if you want to go deeper, if you want to make sure that this message pertains to you, I do have a link in the description box to my private readings. They're more expensive than some readers because of my channeling abilities, but they're a lot less than most of the readers here on YouTube because they have so many followers that they raise their prices astronomically. Okay, so go ahead and check that out. When you go to my website, because it is a part of my website, and you sign up, I do give people who sign up to my website, I do give them a lot of deals and discounts. So definitely check that out. So I will hide that list right now. So we're going to get into pile 1. It is 8 o'clock. Okay, so that's pile 1. So let's move these. Okay, so I'm going to show you your cards. Get clear. Give back. And infinite supply. Okay, and we'll go over those a little bit more deeper. Okay, so let's choose your song. Okay, so let's go to that song. Wait, what number was that? That was number 11. Okay, so let's go down to, or up, I should say, to number 11, 13. Okay. So here are the lyrics. It's early in the morning and my heart is really lonely. Just thinking about you, baby, got me twisted in the head. I don't know how to take it, but it's driving me so crazy. I don't know if it's right. I'm tossing, turning in my bed. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and I still can't sleep. Thinking about your beauty, it makes me weep. I'm feeling hopeless at home. Don't want to know what to do. I think I'm in love, baby. And the chorus is Amor no es amor, which means if this ain't love, then what I'm feeling, what am I doing wrong? Amor es no es amor. If this ain't love, it's just an illusion that I have in my heart. Okay. And then I always do like the chorus and the verse. So this is probably like the pre. The first part is probably like the pre-chorus or something. Now I know you're not my lady, but I'm trying to make this right. I don't know what to do. I'm going out of my mind. So baby, if you let me kick it with you, and that's actually with you, then we'll well, maybe we could ride together. We could do this all night now. I don't care if you got a man. Baby, I wish you'd understand. Because I know he can't love you right quite like I can. It's 5 o'clock in the morning and I still can't sleep. Thinking about your beauty, it makes me weep. I feel hopeless at home. I don't know what to do. I think I'm in love. Oh. So this is you guys obsessing about somebody or somebody obsessing about you. Okay, I'm already shuffling. A card fell out. Okay, let's get to the reading. Okay, so now you notice in the lyrics, they're very confused, right? They're confused about what this is. They're confused about what they're feeling, but they know exactly what they're feeling. So take this how it resonates. It's going to be you or your person feeling that way or both, right? So it's important that you get clear. You need to know how you're feeling. You need to be clear about what this connection is and what it means to you. Because if you try and operate without that clarity, it's like operating within a fog. It's like driving. I don't know if you've ever driven in fog, especially in an area that you're not used to. It's scary. And so if you're dealing with the highest vibration that God has for us, and that's love, and you're not clear and it's strong, baby, okay, you're setting yourself up for trouble. Okay, so you got 7 cards. Pile 1, you all got 7 cards. And that's a divine number, right? So this is a divine channeling. So you need to make sure that you listen to this message. Turn on the AC. So if you hear a little noise, don't worry. Let me share this because I'm getting a channeled idea of what this is about. That this can pertain to someone. And I want to make sure that my people know that I'm on live. So pardon me. Because this will not populate on the Facebook page for some reason. It says I don't have permission, and I do. Okay. Hold on. My apologies. There we go. Oh. Share. And okay. I just shared it to a couple of people. Let me share it to the private group as well. I'll make sure I do this at the beginning next time. Okay. So it is important for pile one for you all to get clear on what this connection is, what it is that you're feeling, and or the person that you are. Hey, Marissa. Hey, Tiana. Or that you are clear on what your person is feeling, right? Because that's important, because if we don't know what it is that we're feeling, then it's like we're driving through fog, right? It's actually, pretty dangerous, right? Because we start to assume, our shadow self can start thinking trying to, figure out what the person is thinking. And then all of our yuck, our muck and mire from inside our brains, our experiences get in the way, right? So, yeah. And so it's important to also give back, right? And so this give back card for pile one people, when it comes to your love life, if this person has a lot of emotions and feelings for you, you need to reciprocate them in a high vibrational way, right? If this is a person who they don't know how you feel, and you feel the way that the lyrics in the song make you feel, then you need to make sure that there is reciprocity that's there, because that's a number 6, and that's balance, right? And so giving back that reciprocity. All right. So within your tarot message, give me a minute to channel, right? And so you guys got the clear quartz, right? Pile one chose the clear quartz. The clear quartz is all about connectivity. It's about clarity. And look, you got the get clear card, right? And in the lyrics of this song, there's a lack of clarity, right? So you got to get clear. And you got to make sure that that clarity that you receive is connected to divine insight. Because when you use a clear quartz, you're connecting to the higher powers, right? And so you need to connect to what God has for you in that union. And look, your center card is the Page of Swords, right? And so there is a lack of clarity. You're believing more what you see, whether it's the things that you see online, whether it's what they're communicating with you. And just because somebody communicates a message to you does not mean that that message is grounded in 100% truth, because a lot of people are operating from their shadow selves, right? So a lot of times when we're, in a relationship or a situationship or getting to know someone, a friendship, what have you, we judge their actions as though they're 100% truth. But if you notice the Page of Swords, which is the communication card, right? But it's also a child card, so there's an immaturity that's here. His sword is upright, so the intentions are good, but the communication lacks clarity, because that sword is cut off, and the swords represent the mental processes. That sword is cut off, right? And that sword is a conduit to the divine. So it being cut off, the connection is cut off. So you have to make sure that you get clarity in this connection. Now, one of you is being defensive, right? In this connection. And we saw in the lyrics where they didn't know what was going on with the connection. And so there's a sense of defensiveness that's there, right? And once you get clarity and you go to God about this union, boom, God is going to give you the tools, the insight that you need in order to know what's really going on in this connection. And this could be through divine messages, whether you're here reading, getting a personal reading, or whether you're here for a general reading, whether, you get direct channel messages yourself. You're going to get the insights in terms of what this person is actually feeling. And you're going to see that there is some deception, right? The truth hasn't been put on the table. And again, this is a thought card, right? So this can be, again, their lower self, their shadow, that's actually giving you the messages, and your shadow receiving the messages, which is robbing you from having the clarity that you need about this connection, which disables you in terms of giving back, in terms of making sure that this connection goes, a little bit further than where it is now. So the thing is that if you get clarity, if you go to the divine, if you get that connectivity with this union, you're going to get divine justice. Look at that, baby. Right? And for any of you that are going through any type of court cases, court battles, whether it's separation, whether it's a divorce, divorce proceedings have been considered or initiated, you're going to be able to get clarity, and you're going to be able to get divine justice. If you notice, boom, here's a sword that this judge is wielding, and he has it upright. You can see the whole sword. So that judge is a wise judge, because that judge is connected to the on high and can make great decisions that bring forth balance. So you're getting a lot of swords that are here that are telling you to make sure that you get clarity. And boom, baby, right? Look at these swords pointed down. Right? Whether this is self-deception or external deception, these swords are pointed down, and you're only hurting yourself, because look at how the swords are being carried. The person that's being deceptive is only hurting themselves, right? So you got to make sure that you get that clarity. So this is mental clarity as well as spiritual clarity. And then you got the Queen of Swords, which is the last freaking card. And so the Queen of Swords has been through a lot. But because she is invested in getting mental clarity, and she taps into the divine through her sword being upright and fully seen, child, hey, Natty Betty. Child, she taps in and she gets the insight. And look, she can be open, right? There's no need. You tapping into the divine. Look at how it goes. In the beginning, defensive, right? In the end, open. Look at how she has her hands extended, asking the person to come in. Because she is divinely connected. She is divinely inspired. She has that divine knowledge. So she's not afraid to let that person in. She doesn't have to play defense. She doesn't have to use deceptive tactics. Come on in. Tell me what it is. I'm going to get to the truth because I am divinely connected. I'm going to get that clarity, and I'm going to rule from my throne based upon that clarity. And so everybody in pile one has access to this ability because you are co-creators, not because I said so, but because God said so. And then your last tarot card, look, you got it. Sedna, infinite supply. You are supplied for today and all of your tomorrows. So even though we do have our shadow self, even though we do have our ego, even though we have our lower self, even though that is the that information is stored in the recesses of our mind and tends to come out and help us make decisions when we don't even know it, we still have God to cut through and get the clarity, right? And you have the ability. God set you up to have the ability to be able to do this. Okay, so let's pull some clarifiers on pile 1. And for people who came in late, the song that you all got is Obsesion, No Es Amor by Bobby Bash, featuring Frankie J, and we read those lyrics. So if this is resonating with you, you definitely want to go back and you want to look at those lyrics. We got some good people in here. Ooh, okay. Passion card. Okay. So we got for pile 1, the 8 of Cups. Walking away from not what doesn't serve you. And so when people get that card, they're like, okay, I'm going to leave Dante. Okay, I'm going to leave Maritza. Okay, I'm going to leave Sean, right? And so, yes, in some situations, it can be walking away from people, whether it's a love situation, a family situation, a platonic friendship. It can also be walking away from an idea or ideas that you have emotional attachments to. It could be walking away from places and situations. It doesn't necessarily have to be people. And so if you notice within the song, there was a lack of clarity. And throughout your message, including your crystal, it's telling you to get clarity, to get divine clarity, right? And then once you get divine clarity in terms of, what God has for you in terms of love, then it's going to be easy for you to understand, how did you get there? How do you get into situations where you invest emotionally and situations that are not for you? Right? So this is more of an internal process. A lot of times when people get that card, it's an external process. It's the other person. But no, you invested emotional energy in the wrong person and situation. It could be the wrong person because of it's the wrong timing. So it could be the right person, wrong timing, which ends up being the wrong person, if that makes sense, right? Divine timing is so important. And in order to do this, you all need to use your internal strength, right? To not go by what you see. It was Plato, and I'm paraphrasing. I used to teach philosophy in high school. Not when I was in high school, but when I taught high school. And we did a lesson on it. And it's like, you can't believe everything that your eyes see, because the eyes are deceptive, because the eyes are connected to your brain functions, and your brain has, stored experiences in your head that can make what you see, make what you experience through a deceptive lens, right? And so it's really important that you tap in to your inner strength, and you be able to control the situation instead of the situation control you. And this is why I didn't share this broadcast at the very beginning of the broadcast, and I'm going to do it different. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to do it different tomorrow. Marissa, this reading is definitely for me. Right? And I'm going to share it early in the broadcast so that everybody could be able to pick their piles earlier. Because when I started this reading, many client sister friends came to mind. And I said, I better share it. I better share it. I started channeling people, right? Because what a lot of us are doing in our relationships and our potential relationships is that we're following that person's low vibration. We're following that person's shadow self. That's the lower self. That's the ego. That's the self that's attached and hasn't sifted through all of the low vibrational lessons. And those lessons are infiltrating our decision-making processes, right? And so people in pile one, you got to make sure that you don't do that, that you go towards your higher self. Because look at that guy's light around her head. And so she's able to tame the lion. That's her inner beast as well as her partner's inner beast in order to make it do what it does, right? And then the last card, the Ace of Wands. So if you take the advice from this reading, right? You write down this reading, and this is your pile. You write down this reading. You write down a plan of action. What are you going to do based upon this reading this week in order to move you and you getting closer to the divine relationship, the type of relationship that God has for you? And you track yourself over the week. And at the end of the week, you reevaluate and see how you did. And if there's any changes and shifts that you need to make, then you're going to be able to grow and co-create the life that you want, right? Overall energy. Did I do the overall energy from the other card? The other deck? Oh, child, yes. So this is your obsession with this person because you're not listening to your spirit team. You're not listening to the spiritual insights in terms of your emotions that your guides are giving you. How does your spirit team speak to you? Is it through dreams? Is it through, gut instinct? Is it through numbers, colors, itches, pains, right? Our spirit team speaks to us in so many different ways. And then the overall energy, right? Focusing on the negatives and not what you have. So this whole reading is telling you to turn around and invest what God has given you in order to bring this love purpose forward, right? Because that's the Two of Cups behind them, right? That's a loving, even-keeled, beautiful relationship. And so pile one, you can have that, but there's work that you need to do. Okay. That is pile one. Okay, so let's get to pile two. There's 3 piles net. There are 3 piles, honey bunny. Okay, so let's put these and get to pile 2. Pile 2 is the citrine. Now, citrine is a very powerful crystal. If you put this underneath your pillow at night, you can start to remember dreams. It is a yellow stone, so it is connected to joy. It's connected also to abundance. So let's see how this citrine plays out in your reading. Okay, you have choice. You have boundaries. You're welcome, Letty Betty. And then you have Isis, past life. Okay, so let's go and pull your song. So this is a little bit, this pick a card reading is a little bit different for people who have followed me in the past. So we're going to pick your Omarion did that. Okay, so let's get into the read pile 2. Spirit team of pile 2, speak truth to power. Give them love, light, grace, mercy, infinite wisdom, and knowledge as it pertains to their love message on this day. This message is timeless whenever you see it. People of pile 2, citrine. Okay. Thank you. Child, listen, spirit teams be going off, going off, going off. Thank you. Okay. Now, a lot of times in tarot, we want what we consider the best cards, right? We want the Emperor. We want the King of Cups, right? We want the King of Wands to come across. We want the Empress. We want the Queen of Cups. We want the Wheel of Fortune. We want the Sun card, right? We want all those great cards. But there's beauty in every single card because there's a message, right? So there's no such thing as bad cards or good cards, even though we might, think that way. So the overall energy is this Knight of Cups. He's not a king, but his offer is sincere. And so in that song, Oh, Omarion, he's not offering a wedding proposal. He's not offering an engagement. He's not offering a life partnership, but he's offering the beginnings of getting to know each other honestly, earnestly, in a sincere, connected way that was sexual, but the sexuality was even killed. It was reciprocal. Right? And so he set in the tone of pleasure for that relationship, opposed to the people that he compared himself to, who just wanted to come in, hit it, and quit it. And it doesn't matter whether or not you climax. It doesn't matter or not whether you're pleasured, because they're in it for themselves. So this night may not be representing, your 100% dreams, but it's still an earnest, heart-centered connection and offer, right? And in order to get a woman there, a person has to be really in tune with their body. That person has to be able to navigate that person's body, because a woman's body is a lot more complex in terms of sexual response than a man's, right? And so he's really, talking about taking his time, right? Because this is the second slowest moving knight in the deck, right? So he's really talking about taking his time. And time, is a precious thing. Now, in terms of this song, it's all about a choice. So you have a choice in terms of the type of people that you connect with. You have the ability through your choices in order to change your life, in order to co-create your life, if you will. Because at the beginning of the song, he says, you need to get with a person that's going to change your life, right? And that means, according to the song, change your perspective, because I'm not like the other the guys. So for some of you, it's like, I'm not like the other girls. For some of you, it's going to be, I'm not like the other guys. For anybody who's non-binary, it's like, I'm not like the other folkses, right? And so these are your choices, right? Are you going to keep getting with the person that's, that's not willing to invest in your sexual, emotional happiness? Or are you going to start, becoming conscious and bringing in people that's going to give you more happiness and more abundance, right? And just because it's being offered in a different form, does that not make it valid? So here you have boundaries. So many of you have not set up boundaries at the beginning of your relationships with people that would bring forth someone that's going to, give to you sexually. And this is because your thought patterns, your shadow self is keeping you stuck in the same type of relationships and therefore infiltrating your choices. And look at this. Choices. 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 Right? And so your shadow self is infiltrating your choices. Right? And so it's time to break away from that habit. Go within. Take a pause, right? Even if you're in a talking relationship right now, because these are your 2 center cards. Take a pause and get divine insight. That divine insight is going to show you the light so that you can get out of your head, get out of your shadow self. And then boom, at the end of that short period, is a wealth of emotional abundance that can be had, right? And if you think about Beyonce's song, Waterfalls, Rocket, I think it's called Rocket, Rocket to Waterfalls, right? She's talking about the internal processes of the female sexual response. And so I'm seeing the overflowing, the sensual connectivity within a sexual relationship as well. And so this person that is bringing forth this offer, right, there is a past life connection, right? And so when we get with people who are soulmates, and I got to do something on soulmates because people just automatically think, Disney, soulmate, my friends. No, there's so many soulmates that we have out there. There's hundreds of soulmates. Some people have thousands of soulmates. They're all not created equal. So absolutely not. But if you think about it, this person knows you in a past life. They know exactly how to please you in order for it to be rockets to waterfall, in order for that to actually happen. Because what Omarion is talking about is the help of female climax, right? All right, so let's pull more on this. Spirit team of pile 2, give us love, light. Oh, I forgot to write down the time. I think it was 24. I'll look later. With my phone. Clarity. Give us love, light, clarity on this reading. Pile 2. Right? There are times where some unions are to bring in that passion, right? And you have to be clear on that. You have to, when it's a temporary situation, be okay that it's a temporary situation. And when it's an emotional situation, be okay when it's an emotional situation. So here's a Knight of Wands. So this is a really passionate person who can come in, who can get you off. But then they're in and then they're out, right? And then there's people who want to come in and they want to bring you to your moment. They want to be able to give, but they're a little bit more gentler, a little bit more kinder, a little bit more slow going, right? And so you have to determine what it is that you want. So this is a new perspective that your spirit team is asking you to consider in your love life. Because this is very sensual, I'm going to pull out the nasty chords. I forgot the name of this deck. Sexual magic, sexual magic. That reminds me of sexual chocolate. Oh, and I forgot to put in the description box, I'm going to be doing a raffle for a free reading. based upon the comments. Okay. So Six of Swords, if you take the information from your spirit team, you're going to be able to go from not really understanding what this type of connection is to clarity, to understanding, to be able to bring in happiness and abundance that the citrine promises. And look at the image on this card, right? She's on the verge of saying, oh, right? So a lot of us will not change our perspective. We think that our perspective on life, love, and romance is it, and then we're not successful in it, and then it's always the other person's fault. And your spirit team is saying, consider this, right? So you got the Six of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, the Judgment card, and the King of Chalices. Child, okay, yes. So once you accept this person in for who they are, as long as they're representing the energies within the song Oh by Omarion, then you're going to be able to really get bounty, because this is abundance. And look, you got the Wheel of Fortune. This is abundance, right? And you got and happiness, and you got the Wheel of Fortune, right? And so you have to consider how you're going to make the situation grow. Because if you have the Knight of Cups who showed up twice, who comes in and he wants to give to you, right? And you know, he's not lying to you. He's being very direct, very honest, very sensual, but he's very giving, right? You need to answer the call, and you need to allow him to come in as a knight, because he's going to grow into the King of Chalices, which is the King of Cups. And this is right underneath the Knight of Cups. Right? Here's the Knight of Cups. And then you got the spiritual card answering the call, and then you got the King of Cups. So, you know, you don't have to get the Emperor. He doesn't have to show up right away as an Emperor. He doesn't have to show up right away as a King of Wands or King of Cups. He can show up as a knight, and it can grow. It can grow. Not because, you know, this guy is down and trodden. No, that's not what O is saying. O is like, I'm going to change your life because I'm going to change your perspective, because I'm going to focus on your needs, right? And so your spirit team is saying, change your perspective. Go for that O and build that O out into abundance, even though abundance begins with an A. But, you know. Okay, so that's it for pile 2. Oh, I was excited about that message. Okay, we're going to get into pile 3, which is the pyramid. The pyramid, you know, brings in divine connectivity because of that point at the top. And then the sides makes it, you know, that energy reverberate outwards, right? And then, of course, white is clarity. All right, so you got Guardian, Alternative, and then you got Blossoming. Okay, so let's pull what song you all have. That's a really beautiful song that I really never looked into the lyrics of, and so that's pretty exciting, right? So for pile three, what I'm getting from that message is to know who you are in a relationship where that other person is not honoring totally who you are, right? And sometimes you do have to set a person free, but look at how he set them free in high vibration, right? And for those of you who have taken a class with me or a course, then you know I'm all about when things don't work out, letting them go, and therefore grow. Because I just said grow. That's not a mistake, and allowing that person to grow because you set them free high vibrationally. And so that song, Pretty Wings, is a perfect example. So when you release an ex, that would be a beautiful song to get the lyrics to and also play in the background. That was beautiful. And so that matches the Guardian card, right? Who do you go to when a person who you have emotions for does not reciprocate in the real time with your, emotions? They do you wrong, right? You do the same thing that your guardian angels do for you when you don't do 100% right, right? You, they speak to you, they still hold you in high regards and high vibration, right? And so you set that person free with that energy of high vibration. And you're going to go and you're going to get an alternative way of getting that love purpose met. It may not be through that particular connection or at that particular time. And so you got to look at alternative ways of doing things, right? For those of you who don't set people free high vibrationally, there's an alternative way that you can end a relationship. It doesn't have to be another sad love song. Toni Morrison. Yep. You got 6 cards, right? So pile 3, this is all about balance, right? If you notice, Maxwell really challenged, I should say channeled. So if you look at those lyrics, he's challenging those who do not break up in high vibration, even when they're feeling low. Right? It doesn't mean that you're happy. It means that you are putting the energy out into the universe and you are co-creating the type of love life that you want by setting them free high vibrationally. And if you notice, he went through the emotions of the situation, but he still stayed high vibrational. Pretty wings, pretty wings. Set your pretty wings. And I'm bad at lyrics, so I need to see them. He's so high vibrational. And by breaking up high vibrationally and moving on high vibrationally and putting, even when it's difficult, putting that energy out there, that's going to bring you forth balance. And that balance is energetic. And that's going to bring you another situation, whether it's with that same partner or with another person. It's putting out the energy to bring forth the balance that you need. Because look at your center cards, right? You got the Justice card, which is a divine card, a spiritual card, and you got the Page of Swords, right? And so this is a new thought process that you need to behold, right? And so the Justice is all about balance. Look at him holding the scales. This is the Libra card. So it's all about balance. So your perspective, your thought process has to have balance because you're looking at Some of you are looking at that, what that person is doing online. Some of you, that person is looking at what you're doing online, right? When you should really be tapping into the divine, because what you see and what you experience of what people are doing when you're, trying to, check them out, stalk them, go by their house in the car or whatever. It's not, 100%, golden, right? But when you tap into the divine, and that's what that upright sword connected to the divine is telling you to do. You get that divine insight and knowledge, right? Plus the practical communications that you've had in order to have balance, right? It can't be all one or the other, right? And so this union had a lot of hope. It had a lot of possibilities at the beginning, but then something happened. And then people in pile 3, you're focusing on the losses instead of what you can invest, turn around, pick up those 2 cups and invest that into your emotional well-being in order to bring forth what it is that you want in this union. And sometimes you have to let a situation go, right? We get the tower moment when we don't pay attention to the red flags. And if you notice, Maxwell in Pretty Wings, he stated the red flags. You did me dirty, you did me bad, right? You toyed with my affections, right? Or affliction. It could be affliction. You toyed with my affliction. So, that person tapped into his lower self, knew exactly what made him tick and got into it, got involved, right? So he named those red flags and then he let it go, right? That tower moment, he had to let it go. He had to set her free. Yeah, I can't sing, right? And then he's in his power, right? So you're going to be able to get in your power when you notice like the red flags and the signs, and you allow it to go, and allow it to go high vibrationally, and then you're in your power. You're a king making decisions based upon your knowledge, based upon your passion, knowing exactly what it is that you have to offer, right? And so this process is all about your blossoming, right? Our Cora, you are just getting started. So have patience with yourself in the process. Do not give up, right? And so if you notice, Maxwell did not give up. By setting that birdie free, now he's free to bring in the love that he deserves, right? And so that is a part of the process in order for you to blossom. Okay, spirit team of the collective, speak truth to power, pile 3, give them love, light, grace, mercy, infinite wisdom and knowledge as it pertains to today's love message. Thank you. Okay, talk, spirit team. Talk to us. Talk your talk. So, for many of you, there were people in the background having some type of control and say so in the situation, whether you know it or not. There were things secretly being done in your connection. Which were deceptive in order to split and break you all apart. And that doesn't justify the other person for falling victim to it, right? For being a part of that manipulation. And so the potential that you had in this connection in this union, you need to make sure that you connect with the divine and you get the tools and insight that you need in order to build the plan to move forward. Because when you build a plan based upon what God has for you and you walk that plan faithfully, even if you cannot see how it's going to go, but you have that faith, he's going to bring in the ships for you. Your ships are going to come in. You're going to get what you want, and you're going to have abundance. The struggle is going to be over. And because you set that person free high vibrationally, and you respected the spiritual insights that your guides have given you, God is going to bring forth a really good person that's going to give a more significant offer than what the other person can give, even if it's the same person, right? And sometimes you have to train them up, right? Some relationships you have to let them know, what it is that you're working with, right? And then you allow this union to die in order to create what it is that you want. And that is, for many of you, marriage material. Okay, so clarifying, you got 7 cards. So you got the 7 of Swords. Look at that moon. Look at the secrets. Look at this deception. Look at the stealing. Look at the splitting of the union by infiltrating the thoughts, right? But then you got the Wheel of Fortune. You're wielding those tools that God has given you, right? And then you got the 3 of Wands, right? Moving forth in that plan, bringing it to an end with the 10 of Wands. No more struggling, right? You don't have to struggle. Pretty wings, set them free so that you can bring forth your knight in shining armor. Bringing it into all of deception, the hurt, the pain, having victory, bringing that ending to a victory. And then boom, the Hierophant. That is the Divine Union card. Okay. So that is it. Pile 3. I am loving this format. My guides gave me the insight to do this. So this is going to be my format. I'm going to be, doing this in the live fashion, so I don't have to record. I don't have to set up, record, upload, and then share. So now I know that I'm going to spend the beginning of the video sharing, so that you're able to choose at the beginning. You're not coming in midstream. But that first pile, really, I was channeling so many different clients, sister friends, brohams, because it really pertained to them. And I said, well, I got to share this. I got to share this. I got to share this in real time. So I will do that next time. But I appreciate you guys being here, the people who are on live and the people who come later. Totally appreciate it. I got it set up so that you guys can see the cards and not me. And I hope you enjoyed. I hope you got something from this. Okay. I'll see you guys later. Bye. I'm going to put, if you want to go back, I'm going to put the people who are live, I'm going to put the timestamps in the comment box. Okay? All right.